AI is an important train to ride, but make sure you buy the ticket. Hi everyone, my name is Janishar Ali and I am the founder of After Academy. In this video, we are going to discuss how we can buy the ticket to the train of AI. But before that, a quick announcement. I have started to work full time on this startup After Academy, and I have left Physicswala where I was vice president after the acquisition of my last startup Curious Junior. We'll talk about this more in the future videos. Now let's get back to the topic. In the recent times, you must have observed everyone is talking about AI, and everywhere you hear about this term, that if you have to be relevant in your career, you have to learn AI. But what is this AI and how it is going to help you in your career? Now, if you think about AI, you think about LLMs, you think about agentic workflows, where you can accomplish some of the tasks that you might be doing in your day-to-day work, or some of the tools you might utilize to complete or enhance your work. So, when we say that AI is an important train or skill set to acquire, we have to define what that means for us. For different professional working in different segment, AI could mean different things. And when we talk about learning AI, do we talk about learning mathematics of it? Do we learn how to use these APIs which are provided by these big companies who are giving the LLM access through paid subscriptions? Do we have to leverage those APIs and build some software? What about the people working in marketing or in customer service? They don't know how to code, or they don't need to know how to code. So, what does AI mean for them? Does the AI mean that you have to use the tools like ChatGPT or Claude Code to ask the chatbots to do some task on your behalf? Possibly. So, here we have to be very clear what do we mean when we say that we have to learn AI, we have to skill ourselves in the AI tools. Now, let us see the behavior patterns which has changed over very recent years and dramatically has affected how we work, how we get our task completed. First is our search behavior. Earlier, for everything we used to rely on Google. We used to search Google for any problem or solution we might need for our work, and we might land into some of the pages like Stack Overflow or Medium or some blogs which is maintained by individual writers, and from those texts we find our solution. It worked well. But with ChatGPT and other LLM chatbots, this behavior has radically shifted into asking these chatbots to find those things for you. Rather than going directly to the source, you are relying on a tool which summarizes and synthesizes that information for you. So, that is the first fundamental change and shift that has come to almost everybody. 85% of the developer are using LLMs in some capacity while they write code, and using this pattern they are able to increase their productivity. Second is our habit of writing something completely. Now, nobody writes text to the completion or write code line by line to create your software. Rather, we create a skeleton and ask these generative models to fill in the blanks for you, or get a skeleton out of these LLMs and then make tweaks so that you get a functional software. So, this second behavior where we are not writing in completion. Third is to utilize these tools for brainstorming, for research, for synthesizing the information you might have from different sources, and you want to create one useful document. We are not doing it by ourselves, we are giving all the sources to LLMs and finding ways to summarize or give insights to that information. The third, fundamental change. Basis of these fundamental changes that you might have observed in your day-to-day work, companies are also leveraging AI where they can automate certain aspect of their work. For example, in customer service, most of the initial queries are sent to LLM models and they are connected to different sources of data and information that is proprietary to that company and give a helping result to the user. And human comes later where solution provided by these LLM models are not sufficient enough. That unfortunately was the case with me, where I purchased an electronic items, it was defective and I had to go to and fro with the company. Company was trying to use chatbot to help me out with the queries, but it didn't work well because chatbot was not able to handle that complex requirement of why do I want to return something and what I am expecting out of it. There human has to be leveraged. So, these are the limitation of even having automation system in place in companies like. Now, let us talk about what preparation for AI means for first beginner and then professionals. In Physics Wala, I built from scratch a BTech program and I was regularly interacting with the student from first year, second year and third year. I observed that many of the bright students even were not going into the process of learning deeply for any concept and idea. Rather, they were leveraging these tools and techniques to get their problem solved. I believe this is a short term fix and will not help you out in the long term development as a software professional. Fundamentals has to be worked out and there are certain things which we have to accept for the learning, at least that you have to sit with an idea, we have to sit with a concept, we have to expand our imagination so that information converts into a learning, and on top of that learning you can build your further skill sets. Leveraging AI at the first step might not help you in long term. So, this is one important aspect which I want to discuss. Beginners should use AI tool very cautiously. If you are learning any new idea or concept, do refrain from using these tools to solve initial problems. Rather, try to solve by yourself. You can have a discussion of the solution you might have developed later with these LLM tools. Second, you must understand as a beginner that you have to, I am talking about student who are in computer science specifically for this video. Now, once you start your learning journey, you have to then start to learn various ways AI integrate into the software development. Now, a first step would be to understand how to leverage this AI to solve some of the problems you might have after you have learned those concepts. Second, you have to learn how to use these tools to create a service. For example, if you have to create a software which talks to a customer, then you have to understand how to leverage the API given by LLMs, how to, for example, expose your MCP servers for some other services, and how to leverage the tools of AI in your editor, for example, could be one scenario. So, you have to incorporate various tools that industry is providing for you to increase your productivity, but again you have to be very cautious. Do not engage with these tools while you are developing your knowledge. You enhance your knowledge by using tools, very important, and this is where I find many of the students are struggling. People who actually use the tool with the recommendation that I just provided are doing quite well after the final years. They have been placed well and they are doing great in the workplace. Now, let us come to the people who are already working, and there is a real fear among the people who are in this for a long time, because companies are asking them to step up and use these new tools and technique in their existing work, and they are scared because now they have to learn a lot of new things. At the same time, uncertainty of how it will pan out for the companies. For people who are professional, you have to accept this chaotic environment. This has happened in the past as well, when internet came, or before that when industrial revolution was taking shape. So, you have to embrace the change. There is a scope of huge potential. You have to ride on the tide. That is what I have to recommend. First of all, see what tools you can leverage to improve or enhance your productivity in your workplace. If you can engage with some of the LLM agentic coding workflows, where you can ask them to document what you have written, you can ask them to debug the code or to create some test cases, that could be step 1. Then try to understand how these modern AI tools are being leveraged to create systems. For example, you can have a system that does code repo analysis for you. Then you can get deeper into learning what different types of models are coming up into the market, how they integrate well with the type of services that might need them, and so forth. Last year, the tools that were very hot are now not very important in the industry. So, you might have to struggle a bit, because things which is the state of the art right now may not be so much important in future, and new tool will come. So, you will have to be ready. So, you will have to be ready to be involved and evolve as the industry progresses in the world of AI. For the companies, this is also a very important phase. All the company wants to ride this tide of AI, nobody wants to fall behind, because they feel there is a platform shift. AI is going to be like mobile, AI is going to be like internet. So, no company wants to fall behind, especially the big companies. Now, there are two parts of it. AI is genuinely very useful, but it cannot be blindly used everywhere. We can see from the report that AI was not fruitful as a economic gain for the companies when they applied to various aspect of their operations, but in certain aspect like software development or customer service, there was a good indication that this will help. The companies are also taking advantage of this situation. They want to reduce their workforce and replace the older folks with the new young professionals. This will help them to manage the cost of the company, and they are basing this decision on the adoption of AI. There is a peculiar case, some companies firing people on the pretext of AI taking or doing those jobs for them. At the same time, they are hiring people to build AI systems. So, which is it? Are you reducing it, or are you increasing your workforce? So, there is a restructuring happening within the companies. So, opportunities are not going to reduce, it is going to shift, and hence you will also have to adopt as the market grows. So, there is hype and there is a reality. I believe and I have found that AI is very, very effective when used in the right scope. You cannot expect AI at the moment to completely replace your engagement in some work and do a task for you. It is going to be a tool where you have to engage yourself. Now, very important observation that I have found, and it is happening with me as well. Now, I do not want to write or think something end to end, because now I rely on these tools to do those things for me, and then I go and sort of finalize certain aspect, and this behavior is leading me or reducing me to get into more details. This is wrong, and this will have a long-term impact. Now think about this. You have a book, you read the book cover to cover. You learn a lot of things in this process, details and certain nuances, which is important for learning. If I just give you a gist of the book and then you are asked to, let's say, do something meaningful with that information, it will be difficult and it will not be of that quality. So you cannot reduce, or you cannot say that since these tools are doing things on my behalf, I don't have to do it, because this is now how human brain works. You have to engage in the process of learning, then only you can utilize that learning to create something novel or useful. So this is it. From now on, we are going to have regular videos on After Academy. So do join our channel, subscribe it, and motivate us to create more meaningful videos for you.